Tony.
Tony's coming. He's coming in the door.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to call this public hearing to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, Tom.
You're okay.
Roxanne, would you read the call of the public hearing, please?
The Ledyard Town Council will conduct a public hearing at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, August 28th, 2019, in the Council Chambers, Town Hall Annex 741, Colonel Ledyard Highway, Ledyard, Connecticut, to receive comment on the 2017-2019 Ordinance Update Initiative Project, which includes one new proposed ordinance, an ordinance regarding the formatting, maintenance, and numbering of ordinances for the town of Ledyard, and number 2, proposed amendments to the town's 154 ordinances. At this hearing, interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communications will be accepted. Ordinances are available in the town clerk's office or online at the iCompass portal, dated at Ledyard, Connecticut, this 15th day of August 2019. For the Ledyard Town Council, Linda C. Davis, Chairman, published in the New London Day on August 19th, 2019.
Thank you. This time I'll turn it over to Andra to make the brief presentation.
And I will be brief. Okay, so just some background on this project for the sake of, I know the council is aware, but for the sake of those viewing, the council started the Ordinance Update Initiative project back in 2017, and we have reviewed all 154 ordinances to update them, and we wanted to provide some consistency in their formatting and number them in a way that is more trackable and just more user-friendly. So tonight we're going to review a culmination of the work, and here is the breakdown that we're going to talk about them in batches according to how comprehensively they've been edited or not. So there is one new ordinance, and that is the ordinance essentially governing this whole project. It is the ordinance that establishes the renumbering system and the formatting, including history, definitions, so that each of the formats will more closely resemble state statute. You can get a feel for what you're looking through as you're reading through an ordinance because the law follow the same format. Any questions about that?
Just a comment, it was always really hard for me to know that I was looking at the most current ordinance under the original structure, because you had an ordinance superseded by an ordinance superseded by an ordinance. And when you're looking at the older one, you don't know that. You think it's the most current until you find one that's newer. And they weren't in any particular, they were in the order that they were changed and written, not the any logical order. So. Right. That's why we did this, and I'm glad we did.
Yep, agree. Okay. Next, there are 17 ordinances that have been amended. And these have substantive changes, which means some of the content in the ordinance changed. Now, some of them were complete rewrites. For example, the one on the fire marshal rewrote, where is it? What am I missing? The ordinance establishing fire zones was a complete rewrite by the fire marshal. Contrast that with the ordinance that oversees the number of justices of the peace. That just changed the term to match state statute, which is a quadrennial appointment, not a biennial appointment. And then some of the others were combined ordinances. So for example, the one we eliminated the ordinance that established the number of constables in town. We pulled it into the police ordinance, and so the So those were content changes, but again, some of them were complete rewrites and others were minor. Any questions on that? Okay. There are 17, Roxham, wait a minute here. There are 17 ordinances that establish committees, commissions, and boards. Now, these were all changed to provide consistency in their language, especially regarding membership requirements and the protocol for members resigning, the notification of members resigning, or in the instance that you have a member who is unable or unwilling to continue attending, how do you remove them so you don't have quorum issues? So all of the committee, commission, and board ordinances have been updated so that their language is consistent. Any questions about those? Okay. There are 33 ordinances that were just like minor edits, not content changes, grammar, spelling errors, that kind of thing. 12 of them were not changed at all, and then 75 of them were canceled, superseded, or absorbed into other ordinances. And that is the overview of the update project.
Which, remind me again, which ordinances are the ones we're putting off? Putting off is not the right word, but.
Not
Right.
part of this public hearing?
Right,
Yes.
right, not part of this. The short-term rental ordinance is not part of this. The peddler's ordinance is not part of this. The alcohol in public parks.
There's the 10 of them are right here, if you want to read them.
The blight.
Oh, where, are-
If you flip to the section that says canceled, or no changes, I'm sorry, no changes.
No, it's,
okay.
In your binder.
I just wanted it for if people were watching.
Yeah. The
Did they
ones-
understand we're
The ones
not-
that there's no changes to, is that what you're talking about?
No, the ones that we're not acting on. as
Oh,
part of this
Jen.
public
There will be
hearing.
no changes, but no changes because we're going to,
They're not done yet.
they're not done yet. That's the
Yeah.
best way to put
So
it.
that's 3-1, which is the ordinance regulating peddlers, hawkers, street vendors,
Okay.
internet vendors, and solicitors in the town of Ledyard.
Right.
Ordinance number 78, which is the ordinance regarding Route 12 water main,
Oh.
because there's
Okay,
still
'cause
water,
Steve is
there's
still
still
working on that.
assessments being paid. Ordinance 82, which is the ordinance regarding Shoeville Road water main extension benefit assessments. Ordinance number 97, which is ordinance regarding water main extension benefit assessments. Ordinance 108, which is an ordinance amending an ordinance to provide
Just
property
did
tax
tonight.
relief for certain homeowners age 65 or over, or permanently and totally disabled. Ordinance 110, an ordinance to provide a property tax for certain homeowners age 70 or over. Ordinance 124, an ordinance establishing a Town of Ledyard Fire and Safety Emergency Medical Services Division, because admin's still working on that. Ordinance 127 is a stormwater ordinance. Ordinance 129 is an ordinance for the abatement of property taxes for housing for low or moderate income persons. Ordinance 130 is Town of Ledyard Blight Ordinance. Ordinance 141 is an ordinance amending an ordinance establishing a retirement plan for the Town of Ledyard General Government and Board of Education employees. Ordinance 154 is an ordinance of the Town of Ledyard authorizing the Bishop Seabury Anglican Church to receive property tax exemption status. And that's 12 ordinances that are not being changed at all.
Right.
I thought 108 was
We're
going,
we're working on those,
no, but you said in 110.
right.
I thought 108 was going to take all those ones that refer to tax relief for the elderly and disabled into one, which is 108.
It is, but we're not done yet.
It will, but as part of this exercise, they're two separate ordinances right now because we have not voted to change them.
Okay, but we did 108 tonight.
But it still has to finish its process.
It's not ready for public hearing.
Oh, then we need to take it off.
No,
No,
it's
this is
still
the
in
list of ones that
process.
are
We,
not on
admin
tonight's
voted
list.
tonight to send it to council to set the
Correct, but
public
the
hearing.
110,
Right, 108 hasn't absorbed it yet. 108 hasn't been amended yet to take in 10.
It hasn't, it's not
Right.
part of this public hearing.
What we looked at was
oh,
those two
right,
combined.
okay.
Right.
It's not part of this public hearing, but
You acted on it tonight, but it's not part of this.
Right, but I didn't realize 110 was in it. Because you mentioned 110 as a separate ordinance. That's what's
Right.
confusing
Right,
me.
Yeah.
108 and 110 as they stand right now have not changed and are not part of this. Once we adopt the new 108 that absorbs 110 into it.
Oh,
110
okay.
So
will
we're
be
going to
then
have to have
deleted.
other public hearings, and the idea would
Right.
be
Yes.
to, especially the ones that are still out because people were working on them, town employees are working on them, we need to get those back.
Okay, so what we looked at tonight included 110?
Yes.
All right, got it, got it.
So
Oh, I knew
these-
we weren't going to hear
these-
it.
These 12 ordinances, though, they're going to get a new number as a result of tonight's exercise, but
Okay.
the content of the ordinances will not change
Gotcha, all right.
because of tonight's project.
Okay,
Does that help?
Yes.
right, it's that 110 that threw me off. I knew that we had taken all of those ones that talked about tax relief for the elderly and disabled and put them into one.
Right.
And then you mentioned 110, and that was one of those, okay.
Well, there's no one from the public here. So, does anybody here have any which would be considered a public comment? Any counselors?
I'd just like to point out a lot of effort on members of the town council and town staff has gone through to go through all of these ordinances, to get it to where we are tonight, to move forward. I am in favor of all of the changes that we've done, so I would, but a lot of work, I thank everybody from my side. I mean, everybody worked, I worked, Roxanne, town
Roxanne,
staff, the planning director, the mayor has helped, so everybody has helped in this, and I appreciate the help that we have received to get this to this point.
And the mayor and I get to sign them all after. Anyone else? Yes.
I had comments, but I just put them in an email and sent them to Andrea. Nothing we need to discuss, just minor
Anyone
questions
else?
and corrections.
I think people just need to understand that, there might be something in there that we made an error on. It just goes back to a public hearing, that can always happen. So the main thing is the whole numbering system. This is going to be much better. I wish there was a way that if you typed in, as an example, peddler's ordinance, next year when you type in peddler's ordinance, you're still going to find the old ordinance. It's just the fact of life about Google and the internet. It's always there, but hopefully people will know to look for it on the website. So with that in mind, with no other public comment, I will adjourn this public hearing. Did she say, oh, wow?
All that work for
On the
what?
record.
Or you could hang out.
I can't believe it.
Burn that binder.
I should have mentioned that we did receive a number of items of correspondence, which I believe you did